Welcome back to another roller coaster review, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Montu at Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. This is a bolliger mabillard inverted coaster, or manufactured by B&M for short. This is a 1996 model, so of course it's going to be considered part of the old schools. If you could tell, it's an old school because it has the roar. And also Montu is very well known for diving into these trenches with the loose Egyptian theme and the one tunnel, mostly famous for its batwing in the coaster enthusiasts. In the world of coaster enthusiasts, it's honestly amazing. That batwing should have been maybe a little bigger. No, I don't know. I like it tight. It's very good tight. Also, it's very hard to get video of it. I mean, you can see it in the park, but you can barely see it. That's the problem. I mean, you can see it from the highway pretty decent, but that's hard to get video because you got all the cars. But Montu it has a height of 150 feet, but the drop of 128 feet, you're going to take that at a descent angle of 50 degrees. And when you're going to hit, that's where you're going to hit your top speed of 50 miles per hour. Something noticeable about Montu is the inversions from the 0G roll, the batwing, and the mid-course brake run. They're all the same height, if you ever find that, because I've always found that interesting. Let's get into this fail. You're going to go into this little pre-lift section. You're going to go do a 180 degree turn. This is pretty normal for some B&M inverts. I know one of them, Raptor, has it. A lot of floorless coasters have it, which is including Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando. Now, this is one of the very few, because some of the inverts go right into the lift hill. Some like Patriot and Alpengeist at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Once you climb up this lift hill, you're going to climb it at under a descent of 45 degrees. Now, you are going to be taking this a little bit slower than maybe some coasters, like a dive coaster or a B&M Hyper. But remember, this is one of the old school B&M, so it's of course going to take a little bit longer to go up this lift hill. Now, once you do reach the top, if you do look to your right, you can see downtown Tampa, which is like the best part about this lift hill. See, downtown Tampa it makes you seem a lot closer. If you're in the front row, you can see the parking lot. If you also prefer parking to the right of you, then you go into this little pre-drop, and then you go down the main drop. You're taking this at an angle of 50 degrees, making your top speed of 60 miles per hour and into this 104-foot vertical loop. This is when the positive G's really start getting into you, is on this vertical loop. The B&M inverts are very known for this stuff. The positive G's are insane. Now, once you do leave this vertical loop, you're going to go to the tunnel, which has the roar in it. Then you go into the inland loop. This is probably the most graceful inversion on the ride. This is not as intense as something like the Batwing or even the first vertical loop. And then you head into the 0G roll. If you're in an outer seat towards the back, this will give you a lot of whip. Inner seats, not really. I've ridden Montu as many times as 30. So I've experienced so many times this 0G roll. And outer seats are the most whippiest parts of it. Then after you leave this 0G roll, you're going to head down a couple straight tracks and into this Batwing. This is the most intense version on the ride and it's my favorite. Once you go through one part, you have pretty good speed. Then when you come out the other half, you do have a little bit slower speed, but it's all good because at the bottom of this, you're pulling a lot of positive G's, which is amazing about it. You exit that Batwing, and then you go into the mid-course brake run. This does slow you down a little bit, but nothing much. Then you go into this 60-foot vertical loop, the size of a Batman cone vertical loop. Now, when the vertical loop was made, it was made to go into a trench. So it doesn't look as big as what I was saying it was. Yes, this thing looks a lot smaller, but it's really intense. It's a Batman-sized clone, and it's built, half of it's actually in a trench, which is amazing. The trenches are amazing on this ride. Then you go into the most famous part of the ride. This is the bank turn. This almost takes you at 90 degrees. This is where many of Monty's photos are taken of people on it. This is really cool. After you go through this bank turn, you're going to go through the whippiest corkscrew that I've ever been on. This is Montu. This is what old school B&Ms, including Montu, have, is the whippy corkscrew. Very whippy. Now, once you go through this corkscrew, which is fantastic on the whip, you go into the brakes. Now, this is going to end your ride. Go into the 7 versions, which is including the element loop. I give this ride a perfect 10. Yes, I give this ride a 10. This ride is amazing. You're going to give it my favorite B&M inverted coaster, even though I've only ridden one. This is amazing. All the elements are perfectly paced out. Pacing is no issue. You got a perfect beginning, a perfect middle, and a perfect end for this roller coaster. Everything is amazing about this coaster. If you want to watch another coaster review that should be coming out soon, this is my next one, Mind Blower at Fun Spot Kissimmee. Now, this is per Monty's review, but course, my blower from Kissimmee is pretty cool. So we're going to review that coaster next. I'll probably post off-ride footage later today. So, yeah, I hope you guys are going to be there. If you want to see this one, please like and subscribe so you can see it the second this thing comes out, or the off-ride footage. And I hope to see you guys in the next video, and bye.